grab your pistols, portal guns, and whips. It's time for some pop. Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic Universe, the only nerd-centric thing you need in your life. DPZ here with C-Dubs.
What's up, guys?
And we're here to talk about Potluck, which is actually, this is our
news segment. Essentially, a round.
Well, we did have it first time, but something happened to the file, and by now all the news is old from last 2 weeks. But now we're here to talk about some stuff that came from C2E2 and some rumors going around and give our thoughts on it. Basically, what this is essentially, like Dub said, it's a potluck of all these little mishmash of videos where we're like, I don't think we could do a full video on it, so...
At least not yet,
yeah.
So we'll just give you some of the little bits of the news that's happened throughout the week and today, and we'll go one by one, and we'll say our thoughts, and hopefully you guys will join along with us in the comment section and let us know what you think. Yeah,
I was actually considering calling it Nerd Flash, but that was totally something else on Pornhub.
On that note...
So...
Let's save the big news, the most recent news, for last. Okay,
yeah.
So we can start off with John Boyega. With John Boyega's apparently joining the Marvel MCU.
Well, in talks.
In talks, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I said apparently.
Yeah. So yeah, John Boyega of Star Wars fame and recently Pacific Rim Uprising, and I've followed his career all the way to Attack the Block.
Right, and he was great in Detroit.
Yeah.
He was actually overlooked, I think, for. Possibly an Oscar nod there for Best Supporting Actor, because that movie was great. John Boyega, man, the dude's awesome. He's hot right now. Everybody wants a piece of that action.
He's a very, likable guy. He's a great actor, and I think his career's going like skyrocketing.
Oh, for sure, easily, hands down.
You're going to be hearing from this guy for the next several years.
Absolutely. So with him being the newest, hottest commodity on the block, the MCU's kind of been talking with him, it seems like, and there's a good possibility he's going to be joining them for sure. I mean, I think if Marvel has their way, it's going to happen.
Yeah. And he wants it. Like, he's talking about in reviews that he really wants to be a part of the MCU. Right. Like, he really, during Civil War, when the movie came out, he was like, that was all over his Twitter constantly.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, so your thoughts? What do you think about him joining the MCU?
I think he's great. I think he ever since I saw him in Force Awakens, and yes, I'd seen him in other stuff before, but when Force Awakens came out, I was like, you're gonna see that man in a Marvel movie soon enough.
Sure. And of course, with Disney already owning, he's already technically working with Disney hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's gonna be out of anything crazy. It's just talking to another section of the boss, if you will.
Yeah.
So in terms of who you think, he could possibly play, what role do you think he's going to be doing in the MCU? Or who do you want him to be?
Despite, because Freeform, used to be ABC Family, they've been talking a lot of doing, like, New Warriors, but it's apparently going to Hulu or Amazon or something like that. This New Warriors show with Squirrel Girl, which is going to be like a sitcom comedy, I don't want that. But honestly, if we were going to get like a proper New Warriors film, I want him as Dwan Taylor. I want him as Night Thrasher.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I definitely could see that. And, he seems like he knows how to get rugged.
And, physical.
Yeah, especially from, even as early back as Attack the Block. He could be a guy from the streets, if you will, a little hoodlum and little rough and tumble. So, yeah, that's a good pick. I do dig that. Me, personally, I'm going big and bold. I think with, a star of his caliber, you need one of the upper echelon characters. I think it's just the best way in business sense to make some money. And even though he may not be like an A+ character, he's definitely a good solid B. Any of the Nova Corps, basically. I think he's going to play a Nova character, especially with Thanos getting ready to smash them up to pieces just to get the Power Stone.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it all playing out.
So you think he might be Richard Rider?
Again,
I think he's a little too old to be Sam Alexander.
Yeah, but again, we can fluctuate ages.
And you're probably thinking, oh, but wait, his skin color, what's wrong? They're like, did you guys forget about like have we seen this before with great actors? I mean, like,
I think it really doesn't matter. I mean, people make it a big deal. Listen, to me, it only matters if it's essential to the character. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the split in race for Johnny and Sue in the last Fantastic Four, because to me they're brother and sister. They're not adopted brother and sister. They're not just so close they call each other brother and sister. They're brother and sister. Okay, they are blood, relatives. So it makes no sense for that to happen. Michael B is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. So it was nothing against him. And he out of the whole group, I think he did the best, considering how bad that film really was. So to me, that's really the only time it really matters. If it's essential to the character, like if, for instance, if we were to get Totally Awesome Hulk, and we're going to take the Asian out, and we're going to put, like, Middle Eastern in, I'd be like, what the heck? Or white, or black, it don't matter. It's like, why? Why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. It's a little essential to that type of character. Yeah. So in my opinion, I think it would work there. And if I'm going for a close second, might be a little weird, but Adam Warlock. I think he's a big enough. He would be a big A character that I think could focus a lot on in that universe, and I think he's a good enough actor to kind of hold. And
we've been talking a lot about heroes, but could it be weird to see him as a villain?
True. I think it would be a waste, because only knowing their track record.
Yeah.
If they like to kill their villains still for some stupid reason.
And we only have a handful alive, and, Killmonger was a great villain, but he still died. Right,
exactly. So, So I'm hoping he's not a villain in that regard, as great as I think he could do at it. And, if he was going to be a villain, I don't even know. I didn't even think about that. So I would have to come
I don't
back
think they would, because I think he's like, you've been playing a lot of hero roles.
And he's just so likable. But then again, so's Michael B. So I don't know. I don't know. So, but I'm going to go. Those are my two picks if I have to. But mostly, definitely Nova.
Yeah. So... Yeah, I think a Nova movie would be, it's a possibility at this point, because
I could even see him joining the Guardians.
Yeah, or having his own film trying to restart the Nova Corps, or even have a weird adaptation of Annihilation.
Oh yeah, that could work too. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be a really cool angle, and I think he has the character of Richard Rider. Again, I keep saying Richard Rider instead of Sam Alexander because he's a little too old for that.
Again, I'm with you too. I think Richard Rider is the better choice, but age, they could always fluctuate. They always take their characters, keep him as true as possible, change little bits here and there, so it isn't out of the realm of possibility. But I'm with you too. I think it should. He's a little too old, and
a lot of people are saying they want him as Blade.
Look, I think that's the easy pick.
I think the problem is he's a little too young. I know I'm saying he's too old to play Sam Alexander now. He's too young to be Blade.
I think we're jaded by how awesome Wesley Snipes. And I think when we close our eyes at the end of the day, when we think of Blade, that's who we see. We don't see I don't see the comic book. Even though the comic book version really looks like him now. But that's who I see. That's who I hear. So I kind of gravitate towards that. So I'm with you. Maybe he's a little too young. Do I think he could do the role? Yes. I don't know what his physical attributes are. I don't know if he's if he has any martial arts training or anything. I would like the actor that knows that to have that, but it's not essential because, there's many actors who have amazing fight scenes that are not properly trained. So it makes it's just an additive if they have it,
regardless, if he does get in, we're gonna be happy about it.
Oh, for sure. If we're getting Blade again, personally, I think Blade fits better on the Netflix area. Yeah. I would want another movie. I just don't think that...
Well, John Boyega in general, just getting him in, if we could get him in the movie.
Oh, for sure, yeah, absolutely. And either or, Blade or John Boyega, I don't care. I want them both. Let's make it happen. Necessary together. Just I'm okay on board with both characters. So
yeah.
So guys, let us know what you think about John Boyega. Are you excited? Do you want it to happen? Do you not want it to happen? Are you scared? That this is going to get too crazy, or he's going to be underused?
That's my biggest fear, is that he might be underused.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was hoping for an A-echelon character, because I think they'll treat him a little better if he's important. That's probably also as important as Nova and as cool as Nova is in pop culture and in comic culture. Adam is essential.
We sure as shit ain't getting a Green Lantern movie anytime soon.
Oh,
DC, so might as well.
Plus, I'll be honest, I don't want him there. He's too good of an actor to be messing around with the suit and ties that mess everything up on that end. To be honest with you, I would feel really bad if he. I feel bad enough for The Rock being in a DC movie. To be honest with you, until I'm proven wrong and the suits can stay out of the meddling of making those movies, I just feel bad for the actors involved because they're pouring their heart and soul into, and the directors, they're just pouring their heart and soul into a film. Okay, they're told, hey, make your movie the way you want it, and then you start making the movie you want it. Good or bad, that doesn't matter. If you're told, do it your way, and then you start doing it your way, and you go, no. We're going to start mixing the pot and screw everything up. What's the point of telling me you're going to do it my way? So, again, regardless of what you think of the DCEU, if you love it, great. If you hate it, great. It's just, we could all agree they could be better, and their suit and ties need to stay out of their freaking movies. So let us know what you think. We're moving on to the next one. Next one we have coming up is Spider-Man news. We got some possible Venom news coming from Sony Pictures.
Yeah.
That Woody Harrelson might be playing Carnage.
Yeah. So before we did it, last week when we tried to do Potluck, we talked about how there was a big thing on Twitter of people saying this rumor that Venom would only be in the movie for 7 minutes, and it would be mostly Tom Hardy, and it would be the end of the movie. And knowing Sony's track record, I'd believe it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it. But Tom Hardy went on, was like, no, it didn't. That's not how it goes.
And again, that's something an actor would be like, no, because he doesn't want his film to fail. So
he wants to get paid.
Exactly. So he wants you all to show up to the movie, and he wants sequels and all of the above. So maybe it is only 7 minutes. Maybe it's 15 minutes. Maybe it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Maybe it's the whole movie. Who knows? But he is saying that it's more. So we're going to kind of hopefully cross our fingers and hope that's the case. But we're getting some more news now with it, and with Woody Harrelson being rumored to be Carnage. Personally, I don't think Carnage is needed, or nor do I want him in the movie. But if he's going to be in the movie,
you get a really good actor.
I can't think of a better actor. There's maybe one other that I could think of that could play that role. What's his name that played Rorschach?
Jackie. He'd be perfect.
Looks the part, can act the part. He is my top pick, but if I have to go with another person that I know can be crazy in the head, Woody Harrelson. Natural Born Killers, the dude is a maniac psychopath.
Yeah. You know who else would be good as Cassidy? Sam Rockwell.
Okay, yeah, no, that's not a bad pick either. Yeah,
because if you ever watch the movie Seven Psychopaths, if I was watching the movies, he'd be good as Cassidy or Deadpool. If Ryan Reynolds didn't come back to play
Deadpool, maybe that,
then he would be my second draft pick.
But Woody, the dude is phenomenal. I think he's underrated, to be honest. He knocks it out of the park every role. And he's not my favorite actor, but funny enough, he's in my all-time favorite movie, which most people point and laugh at me when I say it's my all-time favorite movie. It just holds a special place in my heart. It's White Man Can't Jump. It's actually my all-time favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's really strange, I know. But, so, obviously I have a special connection with him, but just even beyond that, the dude just, everything I've ever seen him in, he can play the doofus, he can play the sleazeball, he can be the psycho, he can be a military expert. He does it all, man. And he could be the drunk helping out Katniss. The dude can do everything. And, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal actor, and him rumored to be Cletus Cassidy's a really great pick. But the same thing with you could say, well, no, Vulture, he was really good, and but Marvel had a say in that. And he could easily be killed off, for this, and that's kind of I'm a little worried about that. And we don't know how long he's going to be Carnage.
Right.
That's the other thing, is that he could be Cassidy half the film.
Right. And I wouldn't fully be opposed to a certain take on maybe if there was a cop hunting down a serial killer and we're going to get a Cassidy-centric film, and then at the end he became Carnage. That would be a hell of a type of a movie, a cool movie twist where we think we're watching something like The Bone Collector or something where an FBI agent is looking for this serial killer, and it turns out to be Cassidy, and it's a Marvel movie or a Sony film, and we're like, oh, wait a minute, Cassidy? And then at the end he finds the symbiote. That would be a hell of a twist on a movie. You go in not thinking it's a superhero film or connected to a superheroes, and it was. I doubt that we'd ever get anything like that. Because, superheroes are such big bucks. They want you to know it's a superhero movie.
It would be kind of I'm really hoping if we get this, if we keep Carnage around, don't kill him. What if the next because if Venom does well, then for sure he's going to be in the MCU.
I would hope so.
What if they don't kill Carnage, and for the one of the Spider-Man films, it's Maximum Carnage?
Yeah, I mean, I think it even can expand to maybe not necessarily like a universal threat, obviously, but I think it can add in a few more characters too to Maximum Carnage. If you remember the old video game, you know, like there were other characters involved, Captain America, and there's so many characters in the game, and even in the comic book, there were so many characters. So, dude, I would be on board with that. And I guess what's best thing about the fact that Sony is doing this is the one
best in loose terms.
No, I will say the best thing about the fact that they're making this movie, regardless of how bad of an idea making this movie without Spider-Man, possibly without Spider-Man, is that at least we have two good actors, you know, so far possibly in the role. So if Woody is in the movie and Tom, the two of them are good enough to hold any movie. Okay, granted, we're gonna base it off the source material, you know, and what's given to them, but I have faith in those two guys as an actor that can actually make any movie watchable. So there's some hope there with this film, you know, regardless of how big or small it is. So, Any final thoughts on Woody?
I really hope it gets confirmed.
Yeah, I'm actually rooting for that one. If we're gonna get Carnage and we're not gonna get any of our other picks, then Woody is definitely a good pick. So again, Universe, you know, let us know what you think in the comments below on this particular topic, and we're gonna be moving on now.
I just can't get over like Jackie. Like he would have been like why didn't I think, dude?
But anyways, ever since I saw him, the first time I ever seen him, I was like, the dude looks like him.
Yeah, he looks like Cassie.
He looks just like him. I was like, the guy was born to play this role. In my opinion, just as much as what's his name was born to play Professor X, Patrick Stewart. Okay, he was born to play Carnage. Yeah, come on. Universe, tell us, what do you think? Do you not agree?
Yeah.
So, moving on, we got some TV news. Okay, Why the Last Man is coming to FX.
Yeah.
Okay, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, the home of Legion, which has been like one of the best shows out there right now. You know, a lot of other award-winning shows. Oh, speaking of Tom Hardy, he's got a show on FX.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
But Why the Last Man, if you've never read it, the concept is basically the main character of the film, or the book,
Yorick Brown,
and
his monkey Ampersand are the last males on Earth. A disease has
wiped us all out, guys.
And only women are around, and he's literally the last man on Earth.
And you would think that would be every guy's fantasy.
The problem is that some of these women are psychopaths.
Oh, amen. I mean, and not to mention, a lot of them want to kill you by snoo-snoo, and if you get that, 10 points to you. But no, it's really, it is a awesome story, really well thought out, and a few years back, I heard that it was being shipped around as a movie, so I was always hoping for that.
But honestly, I think like the story's so vast, I think it would have to be a show.
Yeah, and if it's coming to the small screen, if you will, I think if it's not going to AMC or the likes of HBO, that FX is probably the next best home for it. You know, if it's definitely not primetime cable, in terms of like HBO's and Showtime, Cinemax, things like that, and not AMC, then this is definitely the best home for it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a really good pick. FX was actually like, if it wasn't gonna be on AM, that would be actually be my second pick. They are, even though some of their like original like small. Actually, no, I take that back, because a lot like their animated shows like Archer and everything like that. FX has got the real like meat of their really good shows, where because it is under Fox.
Right.
Yeah, we know how Fox treats their shows. But FX, it's like, this is where you get like a gold standard in the world.
Right, exactly. I mean, every show that actually has been on there, like The Americans, all of it. It's all been
Archer.
Good. All right, yeah. Even back in the day with what was it, Shield? Was that what it was called?
The Shield.
The Shield. Yes. Yeah, I remember when we beat the dude with the phone book. I was enthralled in everything, and that's
the only show they haven't been like really great on was American Horror Story.
I'm a fan. I am a season or two behind. I'm a fan of this concept and the series of the show, but there may be hits and misses, of course. Especially the longer a show runs on, the harder it is to sustain. So, but yeah. So, Why the Last Man? Have you read the novel? Are you excited about this?
Who do you want to play Yorick Brown?
Right. Who do you want to play? Ooh, that's a good question. We'll have to come back to that one. We'll come back on that, because I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
You know, who do you hope's in it? You know, thoughts on it being on, FX? What would you guys do? What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And we're going to be going on there some more movie news.
Yeah.
This one's really up his wheelhouse.
Well, not so much. I've just been interested in it. Like so the news is Red Sonja's getting a movie. Like we haven't seen that since the 80s.
Right.
And we've got a writer. I'm forgetting her name, but her writing credits include the first Thor movie and X-Men First Class. Also, she's done a lot of stuff with Bryan Singer.
Okay.
Usual Suspects and all that. Like.
So there's hope.
There's hope.
Okay. Good.
Hope that she could write it,
a good coherent
and
story.
not have it someone stick their fingers in it,
Right. So I mean, I think this is great news. I'm a huge fan of the character. My only problem, and I think this may be the wrong time frame for this movie to come out. Right now in society, we're dealing with so much. You offend me.
Well, the thing is with Red Sonja is that she plays on that. Like, her whole shtick is that she wears this chainmail bikini, and yeah, the character was created by men. But the whole thing is that she even says in one story, that's my point.
Exactly. I understand that, but that's the problem with...
Yeah, I wear this so men can be distracted, and it's enchanted. You can't... Only I can take this off, so... Yeah.
So, again, you're absolutely right. I get it. You get it. But... nothing to feminists out there. I'm not in any way bashing that, but it's going to get a lot of heat if it stays too authentic. I think, and then on the flip side, if it's on the other side of the spectrum, there's people like you and I that are like, come on, can't we meet somewhere? If we can't have it our way, let's meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, and I've been looking for some fantasy films,
right.
like some good fantasy films,
right.
since The Hobbit's over and all that.
Right.
And I think this movie needs to be R.
Yeah.
And not because because we want her naked. No, Red Sonja freaking
the violence is
brutalizes.
It needs to be R for the violence alone.
Yeah. And I know, I'm still nervous because the Conan remake wasn't that good, so I'm optimistic about it.
I mean, I'm excited for the idea of it.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic on whether it be any good or not.
And I think an R rating would, it's a strong possibility because, again, Deadpool was not the first superhero R-rated film. Blade and Watchmen and even Man-Thing, if you remember that from sci-fi. But Deadpool was the one that really kicked open the door for it.
Yeah, I would say yeah, but rated R movies 10, 15 years ago were more acceptable than 5, 8 years ago, if you will. And I think they're just now making their way on coming back. And it is credited to Deadpool, but I hate giving all the credit to Deadpool because the Blade movie is so great.
Well, money doesn't lie, and I don't blame you. I don't know.
Yeah, I get you.
I
mean, we get a lot of R-rated comedies and things like that have done tremendous as well. You have your Hangover, the first Hangover, rated R, made a shit ton of money. So, I mean, there are other genres that dabble in the R that do just as great. But again, when we're talking sci-fi, fantasy, superhero, it has to be rated R. And if it's not, it's just going to be too mellow.
Yeah.
And won't really get its point across, So yeah, Red Sonja, let us know what you think. Are you excited? Do you want it? Do you hope maybe we get a crossover with Conan or a mention of Conan? Or anything to that. Who do you want to play the role? How do you feel on the fact that, is she going to be more covered up? Is she going to be showing more skin? What do you think is going to happen?
I'm also hoping that we get Rose McGowan. Because there was supposed to be one in the mid 2000s of a Red Sonja movie, and she was actually I've seen interviews of the past, she had bulked up for that. And Rose McGowan, it's funny enough, she was actually in the Conan remake.
Okay.
So not as Red Sonja, but like a sorceress.
I didn't give that movie a chance. So.
I gave it 5 minutes of a chance.
I'm too big of an Arnold fan. I think I watched it and it played in the background, but I think I was totally on my Game Boy Advance or something. I don't think I paid attention to it. The only thing I remember is demons or something jumping out of the sand and him having to fight sand people or something like that. That's all I remember of that film. Yeah. And actually I put a bad taste in my mouth for Momoa until Game of Thrones. I saw him in Game of Thrones. Then I was like, okay, he's cool. I can dig him.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Just let us know what do you think of that. So moving on to our next stuff is going to be all comic stuff.
Well, we got one more thing.
It's a video game. Well, actually, let's go to video before we go.
We're gonna really quick jump right into just a quick video game news. We don't know very much about it, but I'm a huge fan of the franchise. But Ghost Recon apparently is going to be getting a guest character in the name of Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
And if you know who Sam Fisher is, shit just got real.
Splinter Cell Ghost Recon Wildlands crossover, which is funny enough. Not last year, like earlier this year, we had that Wildlands with Predator, which was wow.
Right.
I didn't even know that was a thing until someone said, "Hey, there's a Predator Ghost Recon crossover." I said, "I'm sorry, what?" I think I was like looking on my computer, like, "I'm sorry, what?"
So that even means there could be a possibility that somehow, some way, we get a Predator face to face with Sam Fisher.
Would that not be like? I'm pretty sure you would your brain would explode.
Yeah, that
or
would be
something else would explode.
Orgasm, wet dream right there. But yeah, dude, Sam Fisher next to Snake is probably one of the greatest espionage characters ever created. Fantastic, and the voice iconic,
and Michael Ironside
is playing the voice. Yes, it's just absolutely awesome. And earlier in the year, there was a little drama as to whether they were going to be somehow like Ubisoft was going to lose the rights to the character and to the story and to the franchise, and if we would ever get another installment. And actually, what's really awesome which sucked, is the last few games actually didn't have Michael Ironside. So it's awesome that he's reprising his role, regardless of it being a DLC or whatever the case may be. It is awesome that we're getting it, guys.
And maybe this will be like a good way to
introduce him back into pop culture. Yeah.
Maybe we get a new Splinter Cell.
Oh, I've got fingers crossed, guys.
Yeah.
So definitely, are you a fan of Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let us know.
And what other are you hoping to see with Ghost Recon? Because they're probably going to do more crossovers. I would like to see. I had it for Metal Gear. Metal Gear would be have Solid Snake as a guest in there,
right?
Or I don't know, maybe have a reference to Fallout.
Where I think the connection. Well, again, I don't see the connection other than it being the wilderness, if you will, with Predator. But with Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell, there's a connection with Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
So I understand this crossover. This one's super easy. I'm surprised they didn't do this one sooner.
Yeah, it's a little shocking that this didn't happen earlier 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, again, let us know if other crossovers that you're thinking of that could possibly work. Maybe not even in just this game. Any game that you would like to see crossover, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
Sam Fisher for Smash.
Oh, hell yeah.
They got Solid
Snake. We had Snake. Why not?
Yeah.
And that might be another topic that we attack someday soon on characters we want in Smash. I know I kind of already did a video, but a little more in depth I think would be kind of cool as we get more news on the upcoming Smash for Switch, which I have a Switch, so I'm excited. Anyway, moving on. So we're going to go with a home run now. Okay, this one is definitely up his wheelhouse.
Excuse me, because this can only be explained as following. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
He's super excited, you think? So, go ahead. I'm not going to steal your thunder. This is all you. Wait, time out. We have been waiting all day, for the past 2 days, for a specific news.
From IDW.
Yes.
Because IDW said us and Oni Press have got something really shocking for you guys. It's going to be big. It's going to knock everything out for C2E2. And I was like, we've been waiting for it. And I'd say it paid off. Because what we are getting is Rick and Morty crossing over with Dungeons and Dragons.
Say that again?
Rick and Morty with Dungeons and motherfucking Dragons!
Yes, guys, and they got a little bit of the cover art they showed us, and it looks awesome.
Oh.
Absolutely awesome. And with all the trouble we're getting with the show, the newest season coming, possibly not being renewed, even though it's making Cartoon Network a ton of money.
It is at this point, it is going to be renewed. They're just reorganizing the contract.
Right, so I bet money talks and bullshit walks. If they're like, we want too much money, and they're like, we're not giving you that much money, it could still happen. And it may find a home somewhere on a Netflix or whatever, who knows. But with all the drama we're getting and the weariness of we just want more of the show and we're not getting it, this is the next best thing to be getting it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was blown away because I thought Cartoon Network wouldn't sign off on any crossovers. Like much with when IDW had Godzilla, Toho was very strict in saying no crossovers with Godzilla when they had the comic rights. So, but I'm
and IDW loves to do their crossovers.
Yeah,
so
they're the crossover kings.
Maybe you should get a job there.
I'm trying. IDW. I've got a Transformer Star Trek idea that would blow your mind.
Just the sound of it alone blows mine, so we're good. No, but guys, the Dungeons and Dragons, just the lore and how long it's been around, and the depth of the characters and the culture in that universe.
And then you throw in the insanity of Rick and Morty.
Exactly. It's like the possibilities are endless, to be honest with you, of what we could actually get from that actual mashup, that crossover.
Yeah, there's so much you could do. I mean, it's going to be probably more like the universe than the actual 80s cartoon.
Right.
But I would not be shocked if we got a reference to it, like Rick punching Venger in the balls.
So funny, he just mentioned the reference, because I was even going as far as saying it would be kind of funny if we even got and this is a little stretch, but even a reference to Stranger Things, because there's a deep connection to Stranger Things with Dungeons and Dragons with the Demigorgon.
Yeah.
So it would I could totally see a background Demigorgon running through or something like that, like from Stranger Things opposed to what the actual Demigorgon looks like in Dungeons and Dragons. Which, if you don't know, it actually has two heads. It's not a flower-looking monster in the actual mythos.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's so much there's so much, because Dungeons and Dragons is such an expansive, wide universe.
Right.
And Rick and Morty loves to just play with all of that.
Right.
And to have that kind of level of insanity in there, in this, pretty much a giant sandbox of a universe that they could play in. So the comic will be written by Patrick Rufus, and artwork will be done by Jim Zub. Yeah. And it's 4 issues. I thought it'd be longer than that. It's like 4 issues. That's long. Like
take what we can get at this point.
Yeah, but actually, 4 issues. If they got a good enough story, that means they'll come out and trade quicker.
True.
Yeah.
It means you get them all in one shot. Yeah, for sure.
It'd be cheaper too, probably.
Right. and it's funny enough. It's like when you really sit back for a second and start to think about like just the explanation of how we're getting something like that is what I'm most probably intrigued of. Like, I want to know, like, because the whole thing with Rick and Morty, it's just basically different alternate universes. So this is an alternate universe where Dungeons and Dragons became a thing, or we started living in that life,
or did Rick make it a thing?
Yeah.
Did Rick hey, Morty, I made Dungeons and Dragons in the whole universe. I'm God.
Right. Exactly. Like, so how did this happen? Because it doesn't necessarily follow the tropes of how the show really kind of deals with. So. Or maybe we're going to be introduced into some other sort of mythos, realms instead of just universes. So now how is he going to deal with knowing that not only is there endless amount of universes, there's endless amount of realms that can be out there, So it'd be really interesting to kind of see what happens and how he takes it. And I could honestly see them going with your route, though, like, he created it. So,
Yeah, like, because Rick can do literally... He made a whole, like, thing for Beth in one episode, so...
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so... I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to come out later this year, so... You realize that I'm going to be talking about this.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you're interested in this, if you want to see it, what are your ideas? How do you think it's going to play out? What characters do you want to see, or creatures do you hope to see? Do you think there'll be any mentions of the 80s cartoon? Do you think there'll be any mentions of Venger or Tiamat or not Supernatural, Stranger Things or Demigorgon or 11? Do you think there'll be any mention to anything like that in pop culture? And let us know in the comments below, guys. This is going to be the segment, and it'll be the end of our potluck. We're kind of full on news right now,
We
guys.
hope you are too.
Right, exactly. So let us know what you guys think again. I know I sound like a broken record. And just subscribe, like the video, share it, tell your friends, tell your mother. And
once again, see you once more in the universe.